So let's give you, perhaps for those of you who did not watch, the People's Democratic Party's House of Representatives primary in Delta State has turned violent. The exercise started like every other one. The officials were counting the vote, and then this happened.
Madam, please, you will go back to your seat and...
That argument went on for a while. Then the exercise was brought to a dramatic close with gunshots fired in the air. Chairs thrown around. Arrests were also made, marking the climax of the exercise. That was in full view of a live telecast here on Channels Television. Well, the Lagos State governorship race within the APC has been intriguing. 24 hours ago, the governorship primary conducted in the state was discarded. Chairman of the National Working Committee's panel of the All Progressives Congress, APC, conducting the governorship primary election in Lagos State, Chief Clement Ebri was not convinced that there was an election. That was yesterday.
Because of the political tension in the state, we decided to be very careful, very methodical, and very, I would say, meticulous in ensuring, in doing it. As party men, peace is more important to us than victory. We want the kind of victory that will be celebrated by both parties. We want victory that will be credible. Victory that will be in line with the guidelines, extant rules, the laws of this country, and that is what we have done.
Less than 24 hours later, then he makes a U-turn. Take a listen.
At the end of the exercise, the following votes were scored by the aspirants, by respective aspirants. 1, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, 72,901 votes. Once again, 72,901 votes. The other aspirant, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, scored 970,851 votes. 970,851 votes. Following these results, I, Clement Ebri, the chairman of the Lagos State APC Governorship Primary Committee, hereby declare Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the winner of that election. Thank you very much.
The two men in the forefront of the contest, Governor Akinwumi Ambode and Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, have been talking as well. The governor had earlier fought the idea of being replaced, but has now considered defeat. He says the party is more important.
Dear Lagosians, APC is a great party, and the interest of our beloved state must always supersede that of any person or group. It is in this regard that I wholeheartedly congratulate the winner of the Lagos State APC primaries, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and urge all Lagosians to immediately support our party's gubernatorial candidate in the 2019 elections and work for the success of our dear party.
Well, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, on his part, is thanking those who have stood behind him, promising that he will not let them down.
I want to use this opportunity to say that I'm indeed grateful and appreciate all your efforts. I think it's important that I also thank the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Kiumi Ambode, for a good fight. And
so all said and done, it appears that the intriguing internal politics of the APC in Lagos is perhaps too interesting to predict sometimes. Some will say it is pretty simple, considering how they always agree when their leaders speak. Well, is that really the issue? Let's dissect the issues tonight, shall we, everyone? Mr. Liberus Oshoma is a lawyer and a public affairs analyst. He's with me here in the Lagos studio, while Mr. Kaudi Ogundamisi, a political analyst, joins me from London. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We also have, from our Abuja studio, Mr. Kola Ologmodion. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Let me begin with you, Mr. Oshoma. How does this come to you, these issues of the past week in Lagos, and what came up to this point where the governor considered defeat?
Yeah, you would say is like they used to say in PDP, is a family affair. And even APC also said it's a family affair. And so for those of us crying, even more than the bereaved, staking out their necks and all of that, we've seen that indeed, truly is a family affair. But one very important point I have in all of this, both the APC, the PDP, or the primaries, we saw also what happened in Delta State. None of us is insisting, because if we're INEC conducting, this election, the first thing you will hear, where are the card readers? You hear everybody go collect your card, your permanent voter's card. How do you conduct election without a credible register? None of the political parties is even talking of, a register of members. All you hear is cards have been distributed. And so, but the problem really is, at the end of the day, whoever they present to us, you see us struggling between the two major political parties. And so, they almost see it as a done deal. However they do their internal politics and present whichever candidate to us, will be left with just those two options. And for me, it's not, it shouldn't be so. So Nigerians should look deeper beyond, all of that you see on the surface of the two major political parties.
Mr. Ogundamisi, I guess we've discussed this issue some time before now. How would you assess what has happened for a governor a few years ago, 2-3 years ago? He was the bride of the party. He was loved. But all of a sudden, things turned around, and Mr. Sanwo-Olu is now the new bride in town. What is your assessment of what happened up until today?
Sure, we have always emphasized that there's the need for internal democracy within the political platforms in Nigeria. There's no argument about that. But let us look at the positive side. In Nigeria, we were able to elect a new party and get an incumbent out of office. That was in 2015 in the presidential election. And in Lagos, an incumbent has been successfully rejected by his political party. They're not satisfied with him, and they gave a new person the mandate. So that's on a positive note. But on the negative side, you ask yourself, what were the mechanisms? Who were the influencers? Do they really speak for the majority members of that political party? So there's a need to actually still open up the process. So it's progress. For incumbents across the country, they now know that if they fail to satisfy the yearning of their political platforms, they will be shown the way out. We could argue who is the godfather who determined who should go or who should wait. That's an academic conversation. But on the positive side, incumbents across the country should be on the lookout that they can be removed if political platforms are not satisfied with their performance. However, they should be accountable to the generality of the people and not just the political party.
So when you heard that there was a grand plan and a master plan and the governor is derailing and that's the reason, do you think it's beyond that?
I think it was actually, it's ironic that we're hearing about all this dissatisfaction just close to the election, that the APC should have checked Ambode like almost 2.5 years ago. We should have been, of course there are internal crises, but didn't come out in the open. And I think, again, my colleague in the studio said something about other political parties being optioned. I don't think so. I think a lot of the new parties are mutating the character of the existing two parties that we have. You have new parties where the founders are the sole chairman and chairwomen, and they are also the presidential candidates. I think we need to have serious conversation about internal democratic process in our country. We need to open up the space, and we do not have to wait until election time before we have to start having these conversations. And the influence of political godfathers, we need to reduce that influence in our politics.
We'll take a moment on the program, and when we return, we will dig more into party primaries, focusing on PDP convention. It is Saturday, and you know what? You know the people that will be on the ballot for the PDP. The big names in the PDP are up in this race. It's going to be an interesting one. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.